Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the Divisional Round Playoffs on...
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on. On the air. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between our visitors and the Dublin Shamrocks. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first. Will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. The papers this week, it was all talk about how big of a game this was. Of course it is. It's the playoffs. It's the divisional round. But they handle it well. They score early.
They really did. Plenty of confidence exuded on that drive. No nerve showing. Terrific way to get things started. They are in control.
The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
And now out comes Houston. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive. Then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. On second down, Bright. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards on the play, first down. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
Stepping up, it's a foot race. The 20. 10. Touchdown, Houston. How about that? Their quarterback, 49 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
Come on, set. 50, plant. They're going to need some therapy after this.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. McGregor. And that will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
They're going to try and throw. And this is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And he'll give it here to his running back. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Here's James on 3rd down. That's complete right around the 8. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. An 11-yard touchdown. And his guys have taken the lead. Carlson now to add the extra point.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, McGregor. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. That's good for a 1st down. There's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch of the playoffs. A 1st down carry for Barkley. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
31's the mic.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. Well, that's good for a first down. Here's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch of the playoffs.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. That reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Saquon Barkley running right, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides of this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. 20.
You ain't doing nothing today.
And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the option. 63 yards on the ground. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. These two teams all tied after one. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation.
Let's make these big plays.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12.
Come.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Back to throw. James. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and they take a 17-14 lead. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
So here is the home side to take over on offense. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is that
and a big loss here as he's taken down.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down.
Go. Hey, Wahoo. 8, read. Mike 20. Watch the screen. Pass. Hey, Mike 20.
Throwing on third and long. McGregor steps away to his left. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Holding offense.
So they decline it as that will bring up fourth.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it fourth down.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury. Well, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. 34 yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And some space here. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Now Saquon Barkley, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Got it.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, McGregor. This will be caught at about the 5. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So on 4th down, Sean McVay going to send out the field goal unit. This will be just a 21-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will tie things at 17 all. A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket. Go ahead and try and get some points and feel great going into the half.
James on 1st and 10. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49.
And this might not be the last interception we see, Brandon. Both of these teams like to throw the football, but here in this snow, ball's not going to always go where you want it to. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Throwing to start the drive. McGregor. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. McGregor throwing right, and that's complete. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. Everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
8 read.
And Barkley will try to punch it in. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. 2nd and 5. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. So they're able to break the tie just before halftime. Now they just don't want anything crazy to happen on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, they want to just add the extra point, get the kickoff taken care of, and get to the locker room with the lead that they fought so hard to get.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And they will take a 7-point lead. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here is the home side to take over on offense. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
That's good for a first down. There's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch of the playoffs. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. And finally brought down at the 43. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there, and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
36 yards on the play.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground. But that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now James from the gun, he'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Rock it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On 2nd down now, Dobbins. And he'll go down at the 28. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Looking to throw. McGregor. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, so much of playing quarterback in the snow comes down to trying not to do too much. You've got to just keep telling yourself, throws downfield we've run every day in practice all year. But guess what? They suddenly become more difficult. And this one gets away from him and winds up an interception.
And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. To throw is James. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown.
Ready? 60-yard. Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. James now throwing to start the drive.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Back to throw. James. And he's going to go down again.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is under pressure again, and down he goes again. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
He ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen, guys, so that you don't take an interception? But really...
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. A big-time sack there on 4th down. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he'll be brought down well short of the 1st at about the 9-yard line. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
On 4th down, McGregor. That's to his running back, complete. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab.
Down. 70, Indy. 55 to Mike. Get your swerve on. Hit it.
Here's James throwing on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen. Despite it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
James throwing on 3rd and long. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. So here's the home side to take over on offense. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
You gonna see me in your nightmare, son. You gonna see me in your nightmare.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Everyone's got pull down.
And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
Hey, we got tight left. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end. 3 down. 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down. 3 down.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. And they have secured a spot in the conference championship, and now you can start to smell it at this point in the season, can't you?
You really can, because the focus has been one game at a time, not looking ahead. But when you get to the conference championship game and you know you're there, the Super Bowl does loom in the future.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden.